What is up, guys? And make sure you go check out my spoiler-free review. This is videos for all the people that has seen Scream 5. My spoiler review, spoiler discussion. This video may be pretty long, so stay around. Make sure you subscribe, hit that like button. So, Scream 2022. In this video, I can really just talk about it and let everything go. Let my full emotions just really go through, all the way out through this video. Wow, this movie was a blast. It was a fun ride. Very mixed on it. Very mixed on it. I do think when it comes out on Blu-ray or Paramount Plus, whichever one it comes out on first, and I see it again, opinions may change on it. Opinions have changed on it. But let me start off saying this. The whole opening sequence, the whole opening kill, and it's right off the gate, it tells you right now that Stab, those movies, are still happening in this universe, and people are not liking those movies, but Stab plays a huge role in this movie. And not only that, but there's some really cool references to other horror movies, such as Babadook. Babadook is a heavy reference movie in this, by the way. It follows this reference, a few other ones. Jordan Peele is even referenced here, and they even talk about and reference the whole what's going on in horror, horror right now in, this genre, where a lot of studios, they just want to play it safe and do a direct sequel to the first one, and I do, I personally do like that. I do like the whole meta here. Back to the opening sequence. I thought it was a pretty cool opening sequence. It was different. Would have changed some things, but I like the whole opening sequence. I thought it was a cool opening sequence. Because usually, Ghostface just kills the person right then and there. But no, he actually, it's not answered. It's not answered. But I'm assuming that's the same killer from, if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. It kind of gets kind of confusing because I don't think they explained it, but regardless, that killer, I guess, escaped. That's what I'm going with. That killer escaped, or maybe the other, I don't know. But that killer escaped, wandered off, which I like that. It was different. There's things that I would have changed, but regardless. The whole death with Judy. I like Judy's death in this. Again, spoiler review. Judy's death, I thought was a pretty cool and vicious death. I was not expecting her to die. I expected her just to kind of live on throughout the franchise, to be honest with you. But no, she got killed. And I liked her kill because it just shows how vicious this Ghostface killer is. He don't care. He killed Judy in broad daylight and then killed her son in the house in broad daylight. Like, this Ghostface doesn't care. And wait till you see who this Ghostface killer is, because like I said, spoiler review. The whole stuff with Dewey, where Dewey's just, retired and just trying to figure out things. He's divorced from Gail Weathers, and, he's still in love with her. He misses her and whatever. Dewey feels like he was always meant to be in Woodsboro. Gail is off, doing her old, her old ways and her old stuff. The only reason she's even in Woodsboro is for this story. She's even said that she's only in this for the story. So really, I think should have gotten killed off just because of that alone. She's not really, she's not really wanting to be here anymore. You could tell that she's really fed up. But Gail's moved on, like she's in New York doing this talk show and whatever. Cindy has, I think, like 2 girls. She has 2 daughters, a husband. She's moved on. Everybody's moved on, right? Dewey's just kind of holding on a little bit, because he always feels like that's, him. Like, he belongs in Woodsboro, and that's how he always felt his whole life. And you see that, like, he's dealing with a lot. You can tell his character has grown throughout these past movies. And I really like Dewey in this. And it's very sad what happened to Dewey, which made me slump in my seat, which I will talk about here in a minute. But it made me slump in my seat a little bit. But Billy Loomis is in this movie. Now, I'm thinking how's Billy Loomis in this movie? Well, Billy Loomis is in it. Which one was it? Think Friday the 13th, A New Beginning, right? Think that, where Tommy was seeing visions of Jason. And Billy's a hero now. That's the part that I'm most mixed on. That's how I interpret it. That's how I see it as. Because good old Billy boy over here wants to protect his daughter. Oh, yeah, did I forget to mention that? Yeah, which I did like that, by the way. I Final Girl, her good old father is Billy Loomis, which I like that. And I did not expect him to reveal it that early in the movie. But yes, she is the daughter of Billy Loomis. Really cool. Until she's seeing these visions of everything of him. And in my opinion, I don't see her as a red herring because, again, nothing against, the directors and the writers because, they made this movie with love. You could tell that. So I'm not going to be mad at them or hate on him, and you shouldn't either. But I don't know, I don't know. I would have just handled all that so differently. And again, like I said, making Billy a hero, that's how I interpret it anyway, because he wants to help his daughter. Another moment where I just kind of slumped in my seat because now we're tampering with Billy Loomis. Again, I've said this before in one of my previous videos where I just talk about how they're doing some of these characters. They did it, with that guy from The Quiet Place. Excuse me, not The Quiet Place, Don't Breathe, excuse me. But, from that movie, Don't Breathe, where that blind guy was this, nasty old man. Then in part 2, oh, he's a hero now. Why are we doing this to some of these characters? Is it to make people relate to them? But how can people, relate to a serial killer that... I'm not a writer. I'm just saying. If you make a character a certain way, especially just in a certain way, in a certain manner, you expect him to stay like that. Billy Loomis had no redeeming quality to him, especially him as a spirit. At that point, the visions with Billy Loomis, I'm kind of at this point, you're better off doing a flashback, retconning that ending from the original Scream, and saying, oh, he was, never shot that way. He was killed this way, and that's why he was alive. And kind of what they could, have done with Stu more easier and not have to retcon anything. But no, they went with the vision route. They went, with the vision route, and yeah. Some other things I do want to talk about, the positives for this movie. Again, I love seeing Cindy and Gail Ennis and Dewey. I thought they was handled really good here. I thought they was handled better in this than Scream 4. To an extent, because I did like, Dewey's growth in Scream 4, becoming the sheriff and everything like that. Cindy has more of a purpose to come back in this one than Scream 4. Gail, she doesn't really have a purpose to come back in this one. She's just here for the story. Let's be honest, she's just here for the, for this story, for this, her new gig, and trying to revive her career. Again, man, some other things I did like. I thought the score was really cool, and I thought this, the whole score was really good. Tying it all the way back around to that first movie, was really cool. The whole meta stuff was really cool. The whole meta stuff was really cool, and Dewey was really cool. And so I really loved Dewey in this. And it's sad what happened to Dewey. I should say this: shouldn't have been Dewey. Should have been Gail. We'll talk about what I'm talking. You're going to see what I'm talking about here in a minute, but. Throughout Scream, it was fun and a entertaining ride, but I don't know, man. Very mixed on it. I think when I say it again, I may have a definitive way of feeling about it, but I thought it was fun. It was good. It was just a fun time. And this was my first Scream movie I ever got to see in the cinema, so that has some, nostalgic play into it. This was my first Scream movie ever in the cinema. I don't think it disappointed. I think Wes, would be proud with some elements. But yeah, back on to some of my positives. I like Ghostface is more brutal here. I talked about Dewey and Gail. Talked about the score. The kills were good. Wish they got more creative with the kills, but still, the kills were good. The whole stuff where our final girl is the daughter of Billy Loomis was cool. I didn't think it really went anywhere. Let's just be honest. It really didn't go anywhere. I don't think. Again, the whole tying it back around to the first movie, especially towards the whole end, was pretty cool. I loved Scream 5. I thought Scream 5 was worth the wait. It's worth the wait. It was worth the wait. It's worth a watch. advise you to go purchase a ticket, at least for this movie to be successful. Some more things I do want to talk about, more so of my negatives and mixed things, which I kind of already talked about, right? One of my most negative and just very mixed things will be Billy Loomis in this movie. Like, the whole flashbacks, was they necessary? No. I feel like at that point, you're just kind of doing that to do it. Again, in my opinion, and kind of making Billy a hero kind of just like made me slump in my seat. Like, it just made me slump in my seat. The whole killer review, again, spoiler review. So again, this is a spoiler review. I just need to let everybody know that, because this is the biggest part of the movie here. The killer reveal. Richie is our killer. Amber is our killer, right? Richie, Amber. And Richie was a good killer. I like his reveal. But Amber, another moment where I just slumped down in my seat and I'm like, because Amber was so noticeable. I remember as soon as I saw Amber on screen, right? As soon as I saw Amber on screen, I'm like, she's the killer. And for me, in my head, that should have been just a red sign of like, it's going to be obvious, ain't it? It's going to be obvious. And yes, it was obvious. Amber was the killer. Richie, I liked Richie. I was not expecting Richie to be the killer. And only 2 killers. I was kind of expecting 3. I was kind of expecting 3 here to kind of really, to turn it up a notch. But, yeah. Also, another little negative. I kind of feel like this movie didn't have that twist, that punch that it needed. In my opinion, yes, the family secret. Billy Loomis has a daughter. That's cool. I like it. Doesn't go anywhere. Right? It doesn't go anywhere. For a split second when Amber is killing Richie, I'm thinking, she's going to snap. This is her moment to snap. She doesn't. She just teams up with Gail and Cynthia. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Like, that's what I thought in my head. I thought, oh, Amber is going to, excuse me, not Amber, our final girl, after she stabs Richie, she's going to snap. No, she doesn't. So, But again, and Dewey, I don't think I've talked about Dewey here. Dewey's death. We need to get this out of the way. We knew Dewey or Gail, not Cindy. It's not Cindy's time yet. I don't even think in the next one. But Dewey, our boy Dewey, got killed, I guess you could say finally, because they've always teased his death. But he finally got killed here. And, if I haven't already talked about it, it made me slump in my seat. How many times have I already said that slumped in my seat disappointed me? How many times have I said that? So Dewey's having his badass moment. I'm over here rooting for Dewey. I'm over here cheering Dewey on, getting so excited for Dewey, right? I'm cheering Dewey on, happy for Dewey. He's like, I got to go finish this. I'm like, and this could have made for a really cool moment that would have changed the franchise a little bit, right? Because this wasn't the ending. It wasn't near the ending. It was close to the ending. So the first killer could have been revealed right there. This could have been a perfect moment to add a third killer into the movie. So here's how the whole scene goes down. Dewey gets killed by this killer, right? And the killer is revealed it was Amber that killed Dewey. Dewey dies here. He's dead. There's no coming back for Dewey unless they do something else. But there's no coming back for Mr. Dewey. I thought this whole scene, it was shot well. It was a cool scene. It was a good send-off for Dewey. It was a good send-off for Dewey. You can't lie about that. It was a good send-off because, Dewey went out as a fighter, as Dewey should, right? Dewey went out as a fighter, but Dewey should have had this moment and not Ghostface. And that really disappoints me to say because, let's not, lie here. Most of us are rooting for Ghostface in this movie. And maybe, it was just for me, but in this particular moment, I wanted Dewey to win. I wanted Dewey to have the upper hand here. And, what happens? Dewey gets killed. Again, like I've already said, it was shot well. But if I like some of the parts in this scene, what bothers me? Them making Dewey basically stupid in this scene. Dewey had the perfect moment. Dewey is one of the characters besides Cindy that would just pull the trigger, like pull it automatically. No, they do not do that. Dewey gets distracted by a phone call. He looks down. Ghostface gets again, cool scene. Ghostface has these two knives. Really, again, like I already said, really cool shot. It was beautifully shot. A very memorable scene with Ghostface. But I'm like, perfect moment for a third killer. Perfect moment for Dewey to have the upper hand and really, redeem himself. Because Dewey, feels like, he just needs something. That would have been a perfect moment for Dewey to be like, I got rid of this killer, as he thinks. That big missed opportunity. Again, I know it was either going to be Gale, or Dewey. I think Gale should have been the one, man. I think Gale, not Dewey. Kind of making Dewey that stupid. Just getting distracted like that does bother me. And not only that, but like I've already said, making Billy Loomis a hero, like, man. But I love Scream 2022. I love Scream 5. But 9.5, like I said in my original review. Let me know your thoughts on Scream 5 in the comments below. Make sure you hit the like button. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell. What are your thoughts on Scream 5 in the comments below? Catch you guys in the next video.